used to think that joy and happiness were the same thing. Kids tend to think that. If you ask someone if they're joyful, they might think about whether or not they're feeling happy emotions, but I feel like joy is deeper than that. It's like a flashlight in a dark room. No matter what it hits, it generates light. That's joy. Happiness is a sugar rush, and joy is a meal. I think it's possible to be happy and keep it to yourself, but not so with joy. Joy is like yeast in a bread. It permeates and permanently alters the fiber and the structure of the mix. Joy is what makes the mix worth biting into, if you think about it. Try to keep joy to yourself. You can't do it. So we talked about hope a few weeks back, and I feel like joy is hope in the present moment. Adults actually do, I think, have a hard time with joy compared to children. I've noticed that children seem to be more joyful, excited at times. Working with children and being around my own nieces and nephews, I think I've found some of that joy. Adult life, sometimes it feels like adult life exists to just freeze joy out. Make it so it can't work in you. An interesting story that I have with my brother, who is a paramedic and a firefighter, came home from work one day, and I was there with his family. He's got 4 kids, and he was telling me about a few of the darker moments in his career. He had to perform medical care on people who have little hope of surviving, and on some days it was just that darkness over and over and over again. But I remember when he came home and his kids just ran up to him, jumped up and climbed all over him, demanded that he play with them. All of these, just so much energy and happiness just at seeing their dad. I don't know, it was an interesting thought just for me, but then he also said to me in that moment, these kids are just melting the darkness out of me. And that was a really interesting idea. That's joy, isn't it? Joy is that, like I said, a flashlight in a dark room. Light that does not care how dark you are, how much there is in you that needs that light. It just is there. And I feel like there are people who give us joy. I don't know, since it's Christmas season, there's a sort of a story in the Christmas story that reminds me of joy when I think about it. It's pretty famous. It was in the Charlie Brown Christmas special, so, kind of a big deal. This story of these shepherds at night that are just sitting and doing their job, watching their sheep at night. And angels come down singing and experiencing and sending this great joy so much that it scared them. And these angels had to say, "Don't be afraid. We have good news for you. Tidings of great joy." I get reminded of that a lot of times, especially when I think about joy in the context of Christmas. Yeah. Ever been so joyful and happy that you just start singing to strangers? Yeah, me neither. It's sort of this idea that I need more of in my life. There are people that I need in my life, joyful people to save me from my darkness, to melt the darkness out of me. Something I've been thinking about, and I sort of ended up doing this at the end of each video, just sort of by accident. I end up kind of doing a benediction, which is if you've grown up in going to church, you'd have this idea of a benediction, or you may, depending on your tradition. And I just sort of did this automatically without thinking about it. But at the very end, I kind of have this expectation, this promise. This is all that a benediction is. It's just a wish for you to have good things in your life, some promise to carry with you. And my benediction to you guys today, this Sunday afternoon, is that I hope that you will find joyful people in this season and in all seasons of your life, people that bring light. And if you are able to be a person who brings light in this season, I hope that you do. That's my wish for you. Call it whatever you will. I really hope you're having a great week, and I'm excited to bring you the very last candle next week. Take care.